All right, guys, we're out here today.
All right, guys, let me get these headphones off so we can get on with the chat here. Been a long time, no see. Been busy with life and finally broke free about a month or so ago. And been testing a lot of metal detectors. My dive partner is he's recovering from some stuff, and we're going to get back up and diving here probably in the next month. And had a lot of time, last few weeks to really dive into some metal detecting stuff. And I'll give everybody a shout out in a minute. We'll kick over to the comment screen. And this is going to be a very, very interesting live stream. We're going to talk about pulse induction, simultaneous multi-frequency. I got something I need to bring up about the Legend 2 real quick. And we're going to look at some head-to-head clips. And, I started out on a journey a few weeks ago with pulse induction. The guy come in and they kind of riled me, on the forums about this years ago when this machine come out, about how pulse induction just really whipped up on simultaneous multi-frequency on the beach. And, we kind of know it's common knowledge, like with gold prospecting in hot dirt and high mineralization, like up in Culpeper, that pulse induction units do good. But one warning about that are all pulse induction units created the same. Well, we're going to talk about a couple tonight that I actually own and have tested on mild to moderate beaches. And we're going to blow some tops off some myths. We're going to bust some myths tonight. We're going to call out some bad behavior from some people in our community. And, everything in this live stream is my opinion, and what people comment, that's their opinions. And your opinions may differ, but this is my perspective and my opinion on the situation. So we're going to get into it. I just kind of did this off the fly. I was like, man, I haven't been live in so long. I need to go live and interact with everybody and, share my findings about this pulse induction business. And we'll talk about the XP Deus II and the Morph audio on that. I'll show a little demo of that and what I found on that to be beneficial and what not so beneficial. Let me cut this volume down just a little bit. I don't want it to peak up too far. It looked like it was kind of getting there. But let's go over here to the comments and put everybody in. And I hadn't done this in so long, I figured nobody would show up, but we got 19 people in here, so that's really good considering we haven't been live in quite a while. But what's going on, Edward? What's going on, TN? Spotsylvania? What's going on, Mikey Cod? What's going on, man? It's been an interesting couple of days. I've been on the phone with Sharpshooter for hours the last few weeks, and I had bought, well, let me just go with this first. The Legend 2, I have found somewhat of a bug in it on the beach, and it was calling a gold ring iron, and I was contacted by Nokta today. They're going to present it to the engineers Monday morning, and they're going to get to work on it. So we'll be doing an updated video on that, but there is a bug that I believe it's a bug in the Legend 2 in the beach program, beach wet specifically, on some deeper targets where the ID is kind of getting skewed and going into an area where that it shouldn't be, like calling gold rings iron at 12 inches. So with that being said, they are aware of it and they are going to be working on it. Now, the pulse induction. Let's go back over here and let me call everybody out. Yeah, Edward, I'm really glad to be live, man. I was thinking about it today, and I was like, it's almost like with a live stream. A lot of people watch it after the fact, but we can sit here and have a conversation and interact one with another, and and I don't mind like being challenged. I posted this stuff about this pulse induction over on TreasureNet. And I have video evidence, hours and hours, and show the settings of pulse induction machines, which you guys that are not familiar with, the ones that I have are like elementary to set up. They're very, very easy to set up. But I was always of the belief that pulse induction just beat all VLF machines on the beach. That's what I thought, but that's not the case on mild to moderate beaches. And we're going to check that out in just a minute. But let me go up here, Cincinnati Digger. Yeah, man. It's haters. They got CDS. They got Calabash derangement syndrome from my days on the forums. I've been called everything, and not to reminisce on that, but I've been called everything under the sun. Fat guy, slow southern draw, and I think that some people think because you have a slow southern draw, you're just a dumb A. And, you know, that's a bad way to go through life. You know, I don't look at anybody by skin color, accent, where they're from, college degrees. I judge the person on what they do and what they say, not how they talk or how they look. That's just my opinion, and I think that's the wisest way to approach the world. I think you get a better understanding of people without having, you know, you can't judge a book by its cover or something. Yeah, you know what I mean? So, but anyway, on to the next move here. What's going on, Mike Sav? Mr. LA Dodger, will you be testing the new PI from Nokta? I told him I wanted one. I may get into some gold prospecting and check it out. We'll see if they give me one and see what kind of price point that machine's going to be at. So we'll have to see about all that. But let's talk about PIs just for a minute. Can I show you guys a clip? And I'm sure that some of you have seen it. But just to set the stage, you know, I'm just going to ask this question right now before we even get into it. How many of you guys believe that PI machines, even though you have to dig it all on the beach, were far superior to depth over multi-frequency machines? I'm going to wait and see if a few comments come in before we kick over, and I'm going to just scroll through the video real quick, put it on the Minelab Manticore and the Fisher AQ Impulse, and we'll watch about 4 minutes of video comparing those machines. What's up, Ross? But how many of you were under the assumption or believed it like I did that PI machines were just deeper on the beach? I thought when I got the Fisher AQ Impulse that what we would see is it would be deeper than the Manticore, and I would just make the argument, you know, the argument that, well, you've got to dig everything, so I don't want to be a person who has to dig everything with a metal detector, even though you got 2 to 3 inches of depth advantage. Well, lo and behold, I got very surprised, not to have a spoiler alert. We'll be interested to see how it performs. Yeah. Well, I actually tested it on a gold nugget today, a 0.5 gram gold nugget in an air test. So, you know, surprising results. It's on my channel. We may look at that, but this may turn into a very long live stream because this is where we're starting out. Where it ends up, I don't know. Like the signals are so faint. Yes, that is true right there, Cincinnati Digger. The signal ratio or the signal feedback, when you get to like 10 inches, is like you're listening for this whisper in a threshold. Woo, woo, and you're going to see it in just a minute. And just to give you guys a real quick lesson on pulse machines that don't know about them, the pulse delay makes it more sensitive on a beach. The lower you can go, the better, but there's a problem with that. No machines were ever made that I can find below had a pulse delay of below 10. The Fisher has one of 7, but it makes it so sensitive you can't swing it on the wet salt sand. No matter what configuration you put, basically, I'm going to use VLF terminology, the recovery speed and the sensitivity at. The pulse delay reminds me of a salt sensitivity setting on the Deus II. You run it up too far and it starts going off on the minerals. But let me go back here and we're going to check out that clip. But I was waiting to, so SMINC says that he's always heard that, and that's what I'd always heard. Rest in peace, pulse induction. Yeah, that Fisher was worse than my lemon Garrettinium. Well, hey, yeah, thanks, Carrie. I've watched the videos you've posted. Well, I appreciate it, Edward. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time. The latest beach video where you tested Minelab Vanquish, and I'm a little the Vanquish 560 is really lacking on the beach. I can show that real quick, let me just pull this over here. Let me put the headphones on, and I'm going to scroll through this, but this will give us something to talk about. So I'm going to pull up a head-to-head, and I'm going to have to pull through it, and just give me a minute. Gold ring. 12 inch, 14 karat, 4 gram gold ring. And I'm going to walk down the line with each detector. That way you can hear that it's running stable. So, 15 inch nickel. 15 inches. Deus II hits it too, but we got to talk about it. 14 inches. 12 inches. 10 inches. 12-inch gold ring. It's ridiculous depth. I mean, that's sick. Beach General. Watch this one. 15-inch coil. Well, let me just move it up. 17 inches. That thing is hitting that thing very hard at 15. I'm gonna plant it at 17 and see if we can get it. Stay tuned. Check this out. That's a diggable signal. And I dig it up and I show that the hole is not sounding off. Let's move on to the pulse induction. Fisher AQ set up in stable settings. That's the, what's that sound? That's the sound of nothing. Yeah. I'm gonna show the Deus II. 10 it hits. Watch this 12-inch ring. Listen to that bird fart.
Mediocre. One way. You hear it one way.
So that's what I had to have said. LA Dodger, if you're talking about deep targets, sometimes the ID gets skewed when you're going that deep in a salt sand. If that's what you're talking about. I didn't catch the ID on it. But let me scroll over to Deus II. It's hitting it, but listen to the audio. We need to talk about that. I see what you're saying, Relics Ringings. Set up in stable, usable settings. Let me pull up the Vanquish. Oh, wait a minute. Y'all want to see one? What's this? Oh, yeah, watch this. Let's back it up. Watch this. I'll pull up the Vanquish in a minute. That's on you. Okay, there might be a problem with ID. All right, let's pull up the Vanquish. Wait a minute. Hold on. I got to show you. So, right here. Y'all remember this? I thought they said that update was supposed to enhance the depth dramatically. Don't you remember old boy down there in South Carolina showing us how deep this thing was with that new update? Stay tuned. Anybody smell something? Kind of stinks like bull crap. Let's get the Vanquish out. Hold on. There it is. Okay, let me back up. There we go. By the thing, and that's the best we can do with this Vanquish 560. So let me show you what I got here, and we'll run the sensitivity 1 from wide open, and do you want this clipped on there? Nah, you're good. It ain't gonna hit this deep stuff anyway. This is very disappointing. No go there. That was a 15-inch. There's the 14 right there. No go on that. Will it hit a 12? 9 is the question, and I doubt it. I think they got it dialed back. Won't hit a 12. Will it hit a 10? Ten's about, you'd have to be lucky. You'd have to be lucky. I lower iron barely. No go on a 4-gram ring, 14 karat, 12 inches. That's interesting. That's a no-go on the Vanquish 560. Now, I've seen a lot of boys hunting with the, let's show them what we got here. I mean, this is all you can do with it. We can cut the iron volume or iron filter down. Let's see if that helps it any. But that's all you can do with it. Look at the sensitivity. So, let's try it right here with iron volume, or iron bias down, I'm sorry. It's stable. No go on the 12-inch ring. Let's go back to the 10-inch nickel. We'll give it a 10. Okay, let me kick back over. What you guys think about them pulse induction units? Or I didn't show the White's TDI BeachHunter. Same results with it, but pulse induction is supposed to be deeper. And I've seen where Relics and Rings said they have their place. And I understand that totally, Andrew. The deal is this is the context that we're talking about pulse induction today. Mild to moderate salty beaches. And, you know, I've always believed this. And I put it on TNet and I got, you know, pushback immediately. Like, oh no, Calabash. You're full of it, that's not true. You're full of it, it's not true. Well, I showed them too, you know, it kind of calmed down a little bit when the video evidence, and I have many videos, as you guys know, about this. Yes, as far as the numbers on the 560, I've not done a whole lot of testing on the beach I know out in my test garden that it will up average the silver coins, but give a nice tone. I really like the 560 better with the land programs than the beach programs, but what did we expect from Minelab at a $499 price point? They're not going to give you elite performance or Equinox 700 performance at that price point. Even though a stable machine and hitting a nickel at 10 inches is pretty solid beach performance, actually, if you tested an Excalibur, yeah, I know a lot of people like to talk about how deep an Excalibur is on the Beach Boys, but I'm going to tell you, I've tested them. We tested BK's modded out one, and that 12-inch ring, the Excalibur wouldn't hit with a 13-inch coil. Yeah, so that's kind of bad news for that platform. But it's an old platform. It's a good diving unit if you're going to dive over 60 feet, but, you know. So let me go back here and look at the comments. Vanquish was a better, I think, well, that's a good question, Relics and Rings. I don't know, but I thought it was too. I thought it was too. So I can't say for sure because I don't have a 540 to test, but against it, I might, well, I don't know. I got some old footage from years ago of it, but I really need one to put it head to head. Yeah, that's not good depth on that one. You know, let's talk right here just about the AQ Impulse just for a minute. And I'm not going to mention the person's name. And, you know, this is my opinion on this matter. There were some videos posted in the United States by a gent when this Impulse was released, showing it doing all kind of extraordinary things. Well, when I got mine, lo and behold, I figured out the magic trick on how to make it look like it's hitting deep targets. And I demonstrated how it worked. I've demonstrated on open holes. Like when you dig a hole with that machine, it's a ghost hole detector if you swing the pulse induction too fast. So even if you set the ATS, which is equivalent to roughly a recovery speed, sensitivity moderate, and lower pulse delay, salt sensitivity, basically, makes it more sensitive to smaller gold. When you come across an open hole, it sounds off like a target in it. Sometimes it'll sound like a deep target in it. So you're watching these videos, and like one guy's got a pipe and he's swinging it over it, and he never takes the target out, never stands there and swings over the hole without the target. And I know why, because the machine would have sounded off on the empty hole. It's just how that machine works. The White's machine is way better. At a pulse delay of 10, it doesn't do that as bad. But it's a trick. And, you know, that behavior, in my opinion, was it willful? I don't know. But it's bad either way. I've got over $2,000 in that machine, and it's not hitting no 17-inch nickel. It ain't hitting no 19-inch nickel. You've seen it on a 10-inch nickel. You get a diggable tone in what it did on a 12-inch nickel. And it doesn't matter if you set it wide open or you set it in usable, stable settings. It doesn't matter. The trick comes when you open it up, and it's bad. It's bad behavior. I seen some boys over there on one of the forums. They're defending this guy's behavior. And it's, you know, look, I'm not going to harp on it too long, but the guy got busted. He got caught hyping a machine in an unrealistic way. He's caught. The best thing he could do is just apologize to the metal detecting community for doing it, but that's not what happened. It looks like the guy's doubled down on it. And I'm going to let him waller into pig crap as much as he wants, because we're going to put the video out on it and put the video evidence. It's bad behavior. In my opinion, it's the worst thing that I've seen as far as hype of a metal detector since I've been in this. And I'm done with it, and that's what I had to say about it. If my buddy did something like that and I knew he was doing that, I wouldn't defend him. I would rebuke him and tell him that he needed to straighten that mess up. So that's my opinion on that matter. And a lot of you guys won't know what I'm talking about, but a lot of you will, and you'll know who it is. It's really, really bad, in my opinion. Yeah, let me get caught back up. I got sidetracked for a minute. I've had that on my mind for a minute, and I thought a live stream would be a very good place to talk about it. I actually had to boot a couple of people off my channel because of this detector. Even the guy who designed the detector come to my channel running his mouth saying I was biased, and oh, I should show the videos that he put up and what he did to the Manticore. Oh, 35 sensitivity on the beach, and it's in French. You have to translate it, and the dude's running around talking about It's noisy. It's noisy. It's noisy. 35 sensitivity on the beach. Total, in my opinion, sham job on the Manticore to make it look bad. But anyway, would beat those PI. Yes, it will, Papa. It will. The Legend 2. Do you guys want to see the Legend 2 real quick? Let me show it. I'm sorry, guys. I kind of had that stuck in my craw about what happened with this machine and what was showed in the United States by that gent. It's kind of been on my mind for a minute. And, you know, I let it go for years, and I should have handled it years ago, but it's being handled now. And what I thought is we would be talking about similar depths or a little bit more on the PI, and then the argument would be that you dig all the and that is not the case. The Manticore, the Deus II are inches deeper. And check out the Legend 2 real quick. And then I'll get to the comments and get caught up. I know I'm running behind. And like I said, the Legend 2 has a bug. And they're working on it. Let's see where I tested. I should have tested it right here. That's the vortex. Should be, there it comes. Okay, here we go. Stability test with the Manticore. That's what I tested on the 17. Listen how stable it is. Legend 2.
No good on that one.
Listen to the 12.
That's a hit. We'll count that one.
Listen to the 12. Nice, clean, but this is where the bug is. Listen to the 10. Should get better, right? Listen. Hear that iron tone? They got to get that fixed. Listen to the gold ring. Does pretty good there, but I retested it and it got a little bit wonky. But they're working on it. Okay. So let's go back to the main camera. Oh, my bad. Right here. I got an echo in my head when I put these on, but you guys, that's the Legend 2. The Vanquish is kind of disappointing, right? But we need to talk about the Deus II. What's going on, Gino? Manticore came out. I quit using the P on saltwater beaches unless there's a lot of black sand. So like Relics and Rings has stated, there is a place for a PI unit and in black sand and higher mineralization. Hey, Relics and Rings, I got a question for you. I tested a 5-gram gold nugget today, and I've got the video up. I don't have it right here in the chat, but I've got the video up. The AQ impulse wouldn't even hit that thing scrubbing the coil. The Manticore in a beach program would hit it that far from the coil. Gold prospect, and it would hit it that far. I thought all pulse induction units were, you know, good on gold nuggets, but apparently they're not all. Well, the whites barely hit it. You guys can check that video out, but it's not what I thought. I know that the Minelab Manticores or PI machines are the go-to for gold hunters, but we're talking about beach machines here, and I just found that kind of amazing that this 5-gram nugget that her boss Steve gave me that years ago, and I had lost it, and I found it over behind my desk when I was hooking my lights up to do the live, and Bammo, I said, you know what, I'm going to check that right in front of that AQ impulse. I was like, wow, that's crazy. Fishing to me, bad look for Fisher. Well, I'm not going to, it's just bad. I caught the guy. There's no way around it. I caught him red-handed, pushing a metal detector and showing some bull crap. I mean, there's no way around it. No, my machine's not defective. It's not. Well, the headphones are tore up already on it. The little thing in Clive Connect, and I booted him off my channel, the dude that wrote the books too. He come over there talking smack about, oh, you've not had the PI. There's 5 years of literature or on the forums that you can search through about how guys are running. PI machines are like kindergarten machines, or these two are, to set up. The whites, you turn it on, you cut the gain wide open, set the pulse delay, set your threshold and your volume level, and take off. This one, you set the pulse delay to around 10 or 11. 11's better. 11 matches more the 10. Anyway, they're easy to set up. And I said, dude, I told you guys that the Deus II at that time was the best metal detector in the world within a week. It don't take years to figure out when you start looking at something and you've got a known database of other detectors and how they perform. It doesn't take long to figure something out. I think I was getting better and more accurate VDI numbers with my White's Treasure Probe. Maybe. The French folks can have it. They keep Caliclass. Yeah, we needed a good Caliclass, Kerry, to tell us who you are referring to. Are you able to tell? Yeah, I mean, you guys can go search it. Go search YouTube for Fisher AQ Impulse. You'll see an old dude standing on a beach with some pipes driven in the ground. Then go look at my magician's trick video. Then go back and look at the head-to-head video and how the machine sounds on the 12-inch nickel, and tell me it's hitting a 19-inch nickel like it's laying on top of the ground. It's bull crap. It's a scam. It's a con job, and that's my opinion on it. I mean, that's what it is, and it's bad. The key won't hit it. It's not dialed for gold nuggets. The Jeep and Axiom would have no problem hitting that nugget. That's what I was wondering. So I wonder if that's why Relics and Rings, it has a problem with rings on edge. And this is another thing that I discovered with these beach units. If you put a ring on edge, I've got a 2 gram, well, I've cleaned up, it's over there, but I got a 2 gram ladies ring. It's got a little pearls and stuff on top of it that I found at Polly's Island a few years ago on a chain, and there was 2 rings on it. And you put it on edge on a stick. You put it out about 9 inches, the Manticore wears it out. You can bring that thing up probably to 4 or 5 inches, in the pulse induction machines, or, you know, with it, maybe 3, 3.5, they might give that little whoop, whoop, whoop. And the Manticore's whoa, 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 whoa. So what do you want to go out there and try to listen and find? You want something that hits you in the face, psh, dig me. Or you want to listen to a bird fart in the waves, whoosh, seagulls flying over, planes flying by, little kids running around with sand shovel. It's crazy. And I get that back in the day it fit the bill, but that myth, and Relics and Rings actually did a video in the Great Salt Lakes with Minelab machines verse, he done that 3 years ago and showed the Deus II, and I believe Manticore keeping up with and beating those machines on the Great Salt Lake. So it's not like me. And then Magnus Detection actually saw my videos and took a White's TDI out with 16 volts and showed it and came away with the same results that the Manticore of the Deus II was whipping it. So we've got a thumbs down. So one of the haters, maybe the perpetrator, is over here watching us tonight, you know, with the smoke blowing. We've cleared the smoke out of the room, and now we're getting down to the facts. Yeah. And there's going to be thousands of people view this, and they can judge for themselves whether I'm telling the truth or not. You guys know I don't blow smoke. Thanks, y'all. What's going on, Lewis? What's going on, John? I'd still rather have a Legend too. Yes. What's going on, old 41 Relics? The Fisher Faucet on any wet sand is all I need. Yeah, you got to cut the pulse delay up on that machine. Now, maybe you can get out in the water if it's calm and get it where you're just irking that coil. And you can do it on the beach. If you take that coil, and I mean seriously, if you take the coil and you move it like you're just sweeping, if you got that pulse delay down below 10, even if you, I'm just going to use that pulse delay. I'm not going to get in the other settings, but if you lower the pulse delay down, it makes noise. But if you can move it like this, you can keep it from wailing somewhat, and it's just awful. It's awful, in my opinion. It's awful. It's in my opinion, it's the worst money I've ever spent on a metal detector. Nobody find dental. Well, that's a good point right there, buddy. That's kind of, you know, me and Sharpshooter was talking about you when I showed that nugget. And I called him. I said, Sharpshooter, you ain't gonna believe this. I said, it wouldn't even hit that nugget, man. I said, you know, Buddy's got a whole cup full of dental gold he's found down there at Myrtle Beach. So what does that mean? Well, it's got to be bigger than that. It must be a doggone filling that big of dental gold for it to actually hit it, you know. But let me look back through the comments and see where we're going to head, you know. What else have I got today? Oh, yeah. So we went over the Legend 2. We went over the AQ Impulse. We went over the Hoodoo Voodoo that I've called out and caught. Way worse than I thought that was going to be. We went over the Vanquish 560, poor beach performance. Legend 2's got some depth on the beach. Deus II, that's what we need to talk about real quick. So you'll hear me say that the Manticore is the deepest beach machine ever made on the beach at this time. And it is. It has a depth advantage. I'm going to say an inch, inch and a half, just guessing on the Deus II for actually hitting targets, okay? So I've got the Deus II before to squeak on a 16-inch nickel. But here is the major difference between those two detectors. The Minelab audio at extreme depth is really amped up. So the way that they have their modulation set, when you get to the end of the detection field, it sounds off in a pronounced way. The way XP designed their detector, even if you bump up the audio response, which you have a problem doing because then the shallower stuff will just blow your eardrums out when you come across it on the beach. So an audio response of 4 or 5 on the beach, when you get to the extreme depth, both machines are hitting it, but it is clearly evident that the Manticore has a more clear, precise tone on it. And if you were out there digging, your odds would be way higher with the Manticore on a 15 and a 16-inch, 17-inch nickel, and even a 14-inch target, low to mid conductor, just for that alone. Not saying that the Deus II is not hitting it. Now, with that being said, there's other aspects that I like about the Deus II over the Manticore. And for beach hunting, I tend to grab the Deus II a lot more than the Manticore because of this. The Deus II nuanced audio, bottle caps, I can tell them. And this may just be because I'm so comfortable with that platform. My buddy, Carolina Digger, uses the Manticore. You guys know this. And he kicks my butt sometimes. And it goes back and forth, relics and everything. But if I was just looking for deep stuff, Manticore all day. Pleasant audio goes to Manticore. Nuance audio to Deus II. Ease of swing, Deus II. But this new Morph audio has helped the Deus II, but it still is not caught up with the Manticore. And I want to show you guys Morph 1 over those. And I filmed this after I got done with the head-to-head test. So it's the same targets. It's a 14, because I actually dug the 15 up and planned it at 17 because of the Manticore. It's a 14-inch nickel, a 12-inch nickel, a 10-inch nickel, and a 12-inch gold ring. And let's just go look at that real quick. And if you want the settings to that, you can go to the video on my YouTube channel, and they're there. But let's go look at this Morph audio for my Deus II user friends out there real quick. So let's see here. Let me pull down and just make sure. But we're going to go look at that. But in reference to the stereo dual reactivity is too noisy to be useful. Yes, I am right there with you. This has a place in heavy trash. In my opinion, I'm right there with you, Ross. That is not where this shines. It shines more on a beach or an open field or something. I use it out off of edge of a relic site, and I found some deep targets doing this. But when you walk up to the iron, even with dual reactivity, I've tried that one. Morph, it is just, no, man. It makes sense on paper, but when your headphones go on and you go to listen to that stuff, woo. Anyway, let's look at the Morph audio real quick. Here's the settings. But like I said, you can go find these on the video. I just put it up. Okay, so I'm going to just pull up. I'm just telling about the targets. My ears out here.
14-inch nickel.
Hear that chime? hits it too. But listen to the chime. I think that has benefit. See how long the signal is? Here, it's long. Short. Long.
10-inch nickel.
That was loud.
$12-inch gold ring.
Hear that chime? Did you guys notice? I'm gonna back and we'll talk about settings. But did you guys know? I got to get this out of my ears because it's blowing back what I'm saying. Did you guys notice on the 14-inch how the audio fell off dramatically as far as being very pronounced compared to the Manticore on the 15 and 14-inch? Both of them hit it, but the Deus audio is very weak, and it really came alive on that 12. But that is a big difference in those two detectors. They're both extremely deep. They're the two deepest detectors on the beach in the world. But the Manticore really shines through on the audio there. But I'm going to back up just a little bit to see if we can get that sheet to pull up. And I want to talk about these settings just for a second on the, well, if I can find it here. Well, where's it at? There it is. Okay, let me see if I can, yeah, pull that up. So I started off in beach sensitive. I run bottle cap on 0 because I can tell with that machine, with the way it behaves a lot of times, about the bottle caps. And you know, you can run a little bit if you need be. I took the notch off. The audio response, like I told you, 4 to 5. The salts are 1. You could put it at 2. It kind of does help with the beach minerals, in my opinion. Salt sensitivity 7 to 8. But look at the morph settings, and I'm just going to run through that real quick for my Deus II friends. The channel 1 is your primary channel. And a guy brought this up in my comment section, and it's a pretty good idea, and we need to experiment. He said, flip the settings. Make channel 1 the deep settings because the VDI is working off your primary channel of channel 1. And that's pretty brilliant. I haven't tried that per se, but we need to really look at that and see if we see any, you know, different effects of changing the channels around. Because the way I have it set up here, I have channel 2 as being the deep channel, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So the modes discrimination in both channels. We have the pan. That is what controls the stereo, set to 0. Because I like mine more centered up. I don't like it coming in the left. That confuses me a little bit. Maybe you guys could get benefit out of that here in one, you know, but for me, I like it in the middle. And plus, when you turn the FX on, it'll shut the pan down. That FX setting is called chorus effect, FX1, but this is the thing, and FX2 says it's for close targets, and FX1 is for distant targets, but in my test garden, I really can't tell a difference on the extreme depth stuff, but that little chimey, chorusy, high thing that you hear in there, it will come off of how it's set up in channel 2, but put the FX1 in channel 2, but if you switch it around, you know, you would just change all the settings right around. Reactivity 2, we're getting good stability in our primary channel. We're trying to get reactivity as low as we can in the second channel to get the depth. 0.5 or 1, whichever one of those runs stable. Sometimes I can get 0.5. That time I had it ran up to a 1. Sensitivity 95, 93, 95. That will depend on conditions, which coil you're using and what day it is. You may run anywhere in both channels from 90 to 95. You'll have to lower that to get it stable. The volume is 9 in both. The audio type low square, audio type high square. The mode is pitch. You could experiment with that. And I seen the French guy do something, and actually it looked to me like 5 tones on the extreme depth outperformed the pitch in his video on that day and on that target that he had. Main tone, 774 hertz. The iron tone, I got it down to 177. Iron volume 8 in channel 2. I'm not running iron volume in both channels. I'm running it in the deepest so that I can hear the deeper iron, or that's the theory. I really need to test that over some deep iron. That is just a theory at this point, but that's the way that I've been running it, and I had good luck with it on, set up similar to that in dual reactivity on a deep side. Magnetic reject on, pump and ground balance. You see that the channel 1 gives you the clean tight targets, the channel 2 max depth and fringe signals. The lower reactivity on channel 2 equals more depth, and it's built for saltwater beach hunting. You guys let me know if you try that, but let's kick back over to the comments because I know I'm way behind on the comments. And what happened to my camera, man? Oh no, what happened here? Did it go dead? Oh, my camera killed out. Well, let's just kick it over to the backup camera. Thank goodness we've got a backup camera because that camera on that computer sucks. What's going on, metal detector Northwest Georgia? I know I'm way behind. Equinox 600, 900, but before that I was swing single frequency fisher. F70 that I won't get rid of. I understand. Who let the dogs out? It's going, Fly Rock. It's going, man. I appreciate the money. I appreciate the money, man. I really, really do. Let me cut this brightness down on this camera just a little bit. And the camera is the same way gold. The audio on the Manticore is superior. Yeah, small, just a way easier to hear. That was one thing too that I showed XP relics and rings with the Manticore versus Deus II, just testing it. I'm not no gold prospector, but cut the threshold up. The Deus II would drown out the nugget. You could cut the threshold just blaring on the Manticore, and it would take the target tone and bump it up over even with a high threshold. I said, boy, this right here is amazing. Deus II was just drowning out. I don't know if they fixed that or not, but I did point it out. Let's see here. 17-inch for Deus isn't a problem with other settings. Yeah, I've seen some guys, Thome, talking about running zero reactivity. I just can't do that. I cannot get that machine on this beach to run at zero reactivity in wet salt sand. 1.5 is basically with 11-inch coil, a 9-inch coil, and the HF2 coil, and I even have to bump it up sometimes to 2 to get it to be stable. I don't want to hear that racket all the time. But I have seen other guys saying, oh, I've lowered it to 0. I've lowered it to 0. One guy said he was scuba diving in the saltwater, and I'm like, dude, that ain't happening here. I don't know how they're doing that or how y'all guys are doing that. I totally understand that it would get more depth with a 0 reactivity, but the reason I run it at a 1.5 is for stability. I would rather have a stable machine than a machine that would detect 3 inches deeper, because if you get into instability, you may not hear it anyway. That's just my take on that subject. And I don't know if that's what you're referring to as different settings, but it about has to be, because that's the only thing that would increase depth from what I had would be a reactivity speed. Thank you, Cincinnati Digger. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. GT man, let's see what he says right here. These people on the forum seem to think that having more years of experience or more knowledge of how a metal detector works will somehow magically make their detector more capable. That is true. I mean, it's really true. You can go and peruse the forums about, since I've been showing this Fisher AQ impulse, and you can see the IQ levels shining. You want to rate somebody's IQ? Go read about what's being said on some of these. You want me to show you the craziest comment of the week? I'm going to show it. I didn't know if I was going to do it or not, but I'm going to show you the craziest comment of the week. And I want you guys that know about PI detectors are going to, your jaw's going to hit the floor when you see this comment. No, that's not it. Here it is. Read that. In the right hands, it is more effective than any multi-frequency out there. Although depth's coming into question because old Calabash is showing it, but you can avoid aluminum. Don't you boys know that you need to go get you a PI machine? Oh yeah, and check this guy out. So check this guy out right here. Let me see if I can find it. I broke the PI out and started showing how much bullcrap this was, and I had a psychological review going on of my mental health. It's actually said that I have a mental illness because of what I was showing and saying. Check this out. This is pretty rough right here, man. Check that out right there. You had to see this guy on YouTube. So no experience hunting a beach and never found a gold ring on the beach, even with a Manticore and XP Deus. Don't have a PI master's degree. I've been doing this 50 years. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. You ever wonder if some of them people that's been doing it a long time take and recycle their finds? I mean, you ever wonder if that really happens in the metal detector community and what kind of person would do something like that? Yeah, you know, that's what I'm saying. Oh, what do you think the day is with the stereo more on, just the old school? What do you think the day Deus II would do, like not the stereo? I like 3.1. I like 3.1. Yeah, man, showing, hey, I came with receipts today. That's what I like to do. I like to come with receipts. You go to these forums, or these people come in and comment on what you cow bash, you don't know what you do, and then you look and they don't even have a video. You try and tell me how to make a video. Well, okay. I get you there, Tom. I'm going to tell you something about that. I can't run your magnetic reject here off. That goes right back to that stability issue. And if you can run it, I know that you could probably gain some depth on it, because when I got the Deus II, I was advised to try magnetic reject on and off. Oh, I'm looking at that camera, and it's this camera. I'm sorry, guys. Magnetic reject off, and I just can't run that. I lose stability, and I'd rather run a stable machine and lose a little bit of depth than have an unstable machine. Deus II are yes. In the beach, it helps make them, yes. Better than the Deus to probably do the straight. Yeah, it's a comfortable machine, and a lot of people ask me this, and I'm gonna go ahead and answer that while we're on this metal detector Northwest Georgia. They'll say, well, I like the Equinox 900. Well, which one should I get? And here's my thing. For the comfort factor, I'd rather have the Manticore. For the screen, I had rather, and I'm not talking about the 2D screen, I'm talking about the menu layout, ease of use, and just the way the screen looks. I'm not talking about that 2D, thing and all that some people like to look at. I'm not really that guy. I hear the tone, I look at the numbers sometimes, and I dig. But it definitely has a better layout. It has a better feel to me than the Equinox 900. And it has a slight depth advantage over the 900 from what I've seen. I didn't have a 900 in that video because I actually traded my 900 for that classic antique whites that I'm going to put up, because that's a collector's item. It will be a big collector's item in 10 or 15 years, and that machine is in really good shape. But that's my answer about the 900 and the Manticore. Pick between the Deus II and the Manticore for beach hunting. Which would you choose? Man, I said that the Deus II, I liked it for the nuance of audio, but I'm going to tell you something. I'm growing really fond of that Manticore, that extreme depth too, because set up and in the right capable hands, you go into these beaches now and they're hit so hard, you got the guys running around with the Vanquish 560s, which are stable, hitting down to 10 inches. You got the other machines out there, the Deus II, that's capable of hitting super, super deep targets, but you got to be on your A game. You guys heard the audio that I showed, and you got to be on your A game about that to dig those types of targets. So it's a toss-up. I really know the Deus II better, and I would. It's a toss-up. I mean, if you want the deepest beach machine, the easiest menu layout, the best looking menu system, it's the Manticore. That's a fact. But if you want the most versatile, lightweight, easiest to swing detector that you can dive with, you can do whatever with, that diving bone conduction headphones, stereo, morphing audio characteristics now, where will that all be used? Not in trashy areas. I don't think that's going to work out too good. And I keep looking at that camera, man. Why do I keep doing that? I don't think that's gonna work out too good. But that maybe we'll come up with something that works out in trashy areas. But it is really a toss-up, because when I look at like relic hunting, I feel like the Deus II, from what I've seen and tested and done, has a slight unmasking advantage. But the Manticore has a better depth, deep target sound. So it's both and. If you can afford both, get them both. If you can't, watch the videos. And I'll be honest with you, the Minelab system is easier than the Deus II system. It's just easier. And Deus is complicated more now with this Morph audio. If you choose to go down that rabbit hole, you can keep it simple. And I will say this. Let me make one more thing very clear here. The Manticore based programs are kick butt. The Deus II based programs suck. And I told them about their beach programs. I said, set that, Sharpshooter told me this. He was like, why don't they do that? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to tell the guy that. And I told them that, and they wouldn't change the beach programs. And I told Nokta this not long ago. You need to change the beach programs on your units so that somebody who don't beach hunt all the time don't have to go through all this rip-a-roar to try to learn what to do on the beach. Like when you cut it on, it's set in a recovery speed that'll run stable. Oh, and then it goes into an automatic tracking ground balance setting where they don't even have to ground balance the unit because they may not know that they need to go down by the water and ground balance it with salt on. The Vanquish 560 has that category whipped as the most simple beach machine. You turn it on, automatic noise cancel in the beach program. Automatic ground balance. You set the sensitivity and the iron bias wherever you want it. You can leave it on 2 and you can take off. So I told Nokta, I said, you guys need to do an update on the Legend 2 and you need to have this thing. When you hit that beach program, it does an automatic noise cycle and then it sets the machine in a usable, huntable recovery speed and all of that good stuff, bottle cap, iron filter, and stability setting, and then defaults the machine into a automatic tracking ground balance. That way somebody comes down and buys your machine and don't have to go through all the hoops. They can just go out to the beach and start finding stuff. And look, the Manticore, believe this or not, the Manticore is probably the simplest of them all, like besides the Vanquish 560, to set up and run. It's that because the base programs are so good. Yes, you got a noise canceller, and yes, you got to ground balance it on the beach, but the base settings run really good and will outperform the day. You go and try to run the Deus II with the base settings, it's going to wail all over the beach. So that's my little spiel about that, and I think manufacturers need to take note of that. Make your beach programs simple. Simple. People live in the Midwest, they relic hunt with your machines, they coin shoot, they live up north, they live out west, they live everywhere away from the ocean, and they come here on vacation and they're not familiar with how to hunt a beach. So they don't have to go through and watch 900 videos. Set your machines up where they can basically make your high-end machine turn on and go. That's my rant and soapbox on that. Anyway, let's see here what Buddy says. You're right about the audio. That's another reason why I use an amplifier. The one showed. Yeah. Buddy's got an interesting setup. He's really got an interesting setup. Make it a little harder to pinpoint your target. It doesn't because it still gives that whiff right in the middle of the coil, Gino. It's not like what you're hearing in that microphone is really stretched out with a coil movement, but you can still kind of center it up under the coil. You guys notice that I don't use pinpoint. I've trained myself over the years just to use the coil to know where to dig. And hey, I struck a few targets learning how to do that, but I've gotten good at it over the years. And a lot of guys will use pinpoint, but I can pinpoint fairly accurately with the Morph audio too. And I can tell you by looking in correlation with the coil and the way the tone is feeding back to me, that target is right there in the center of the coil. So it's not bad. It's not bad at all. More depth, the Deus II reactive pitch. Yeah. Magnetic response accept. See, that you're just not going to run here. I mean, I understand what you're saying, and absolutely you would get more depth, but you're not going to run that stable here, Thone. Maybe on your beach you can run that, but we can't run that here. If you want stability, you can run anything you want anywhere. I'm not the chief of what you run and don't run, but I'm just saying my philosophy on detecting the beach is I want a stable metal detector. I don't want to have to, I mean, when I get tired, do you guys get sloppy with the coil? Me and Sharpshooter was having a discussion about this other day. We come out, you start getting tired on the relic side of the beach, you get sloppy. And if you're not managing that coil with a reactivity of 0, you're going to get some feedback. I'm building some new headphones, and I wonder if it's, you know, I don't know the answer to that, Ross. I don't know on that. Don't know the answer to that. The bone conduction headphones it won't work with. So yeah, Tom's right about that. Maybe the full. Yeah, that John. That's it. They got called on this one. The guy got called on this one, and I would just advise if anybody's watching it, the best thing we do is just to back off of it, man. Don't keep on with it. I mean, just let it go, because there's no need to double down on it. You're caught. I mean, it just is what it is. You're caught. I don't know what else to say about it. You're caught. It's hype. It was hyped, and it's now was it done out of ignorance? That could be true. You know, somebody that, well, let's talk about that just for a moment, to be fair, because I'm a fair guy. You could actually buy that machine, and out of ignorance, and I think that happened to a gent that I had to boot off my channel that went by B. Klein. And if you're not up to snuff on how to test metal detectors and what's going on, you could buy that machine and set it up, put a target in the sand and swing it over, and it'll sound off on it. And you'll be like, dude, that thing is smoking that 19-inch nickel. You could literally bury a target 2 foot deep, and you would think that it was hidden. You could bury a bobby pin at 2 foot deep and do that and swing it over the coil with those settings, and you would think that it's literally sounding off on the target. So there is a possibility that someone, I don't think that's what happened with the person that showed this, that someone could actually get seduced into believing that that thing was doing that and not realizing, hey, you need to test it over the open hole. Put a stick in the hole like I did in the magician's trick video and swing it over, and it'll sound off on it. Anyway, that's enough of that thing. Well, I've gave that thing way too much attention. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it stings when you get caught doing something, except, Mac, it's just okay with pitch. Okay, I'll you know what, Tom? Hey, I'm going to try that, okay? I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that. I'm going to run it at. Let me back up and look at what he said. I'll shoot a video when I'm down there, because I'm going to be back at the beach here very, very soon. I'm going to run the reactivity at 0, pitch audio high square, response audio 7, and magnetic accept. Dude, that'll blow your ears out, man. Update every time. No. It's up to you, Brad. I do like 3.1, but you got to remember in there, you know, when they did that one update, I don't remember what number it was. Maybe Sharpshooter can chime in here, but there was one update, 1.0 or whatever. It was so bad they had to come out with another one because, hey, appreciate it, Relics and Rings. It was so bad that they had to come out with another one to counter the iron faults, and they had the machine opened up a little bit. But they left those same filters. We'll see you too, Metal Detect, Northwest Georgia. But yeah, they had to redo it. So no, not every time. You know, if you're skeptical of it, just wait and see what the word is on the street in a few weeks. You'll kind of get a feel for it. You know, there's always guys out there that say it's everything that hits is the greatest and, you know, best. But the Morph audio, of course, you know, XP sent me this little puck, and I'm like, you guys sent me this little puck to test. Why didn't you guys send me the whole headphone set? That kind of chapped my rear end a little bit, because I had to buy my headphones and then show their equipment, and you know, but this little puck works, and it's really good at capturing audio. You see I got the little adapter on the back, but I like the whole headset. But you could actually run that and use like some wired earbuds or something if it was hot. The old ace on the beach, and the guy eating a mean burger came up and said, Garrett is the absolute leader of Melton. As far behind, I sold him my Ace 400. Yeah, but you know, 5 Mile Relic Hunter, are you hunting relics in 10 kilohertz? That's a problem if you are, because I'm going to tell you something. If you're in iron and you're chasing relics in 10 kilohertz, you're leaving some stuff in the iron, because 10 kilohertz will not unmask like 40 kilohertz. So yeah, even in the single frequency, 10 kilohertz is behind if you're a relic hunter. If you're on a beach or a gold hunter, it's behind. If you're hunting coins, 10 kilohertz is great. I mean, it would be great for modern trash and sounding off on silver. But my whole point about a multi-frequency machine is I didn't buy that to run in 10 kilohertz. I bought it to run in multi-frequency to reap the benefits. So why do you have the chatter? I would say that if your machine is that chattery because it's not happening with mine, you might want to have the coil checked out. That doesn't make sense. That machine, that doesn't make sense, because I'm going to tell you something. My yard is full of EMI, and that Legend 2 test out is one of the stablest detectors in that EMI that I have. So you might want to call Ryan over at the Nokta USA Service Center and talk to him about that and have that checked out. No crap, man. That's not right. I've run the Legend 2 enough to know that no, it shouldn't be like that. And Carolina Digger's got one, and he's running, and we're not having that problem. So you might. I know that I had a bad coil on one of mine. It was a small coil, and it had a problem. And they sent me another one, and it's fixed. But you might want to have that checked out, since been in just sent me with a perfect manual ground balance. Salt sense. I got you. Good. Yeah. You need to call. You need to call and get that checked out. That's not normal operation. I'm telling you right now. That's not normal. So you probably got a problem with a coil or something, because that's what I had. I got to send that thing back too, because they wanted to analyze it. You know, I've got a good relationship with them now. You know, I put up a video and they contacted me this morning. Hey, we're working on it. I said, okay. You know, I'll get with it. You know, this Monday, Tuesday, they send me a beta version, and we'll get with it and see what happens. And see what happens with the Legend 2. But I was trying to think of what else I had to go over tonight. We've had a good many people in here. We got up to 70 people at one time, and it's been a really interesting. Let me just sum this up. Pulse induction has its place, like the expert. Relics and Rings is an expert with a pulse induction machine, and I think Metal Detect Northwest Georgia may have used some down there in that hot Georgia clay maybe over the years. But it's this pulse induction business on a wet salt sand beach, it's really an outdated conversation. If you notice, and Sharpshooter brought this point up, and I did an AI search and was looking about this, who makes a beach metal detector in 2026 PI for just the beach and boasts its performance, knowing that you'll have to dig every fish hook, every bottle cap, etc., etc.? Nobody except Fisher. That is the only beach machine, pulse induction per se, in production that I can find. I can't find one from Garrett or anything. So it is, dang, I forgot to put, I seen that comment come in. I forgot to put Ryan's little icon in the live stream too. But you guys, please buy from him. He supports my channel. I don't make money off detectors. He pays me so much a year to put his advertisement there, 60-day return policy. Great guy to deal with, man. Nobody, and he pays shipping both ways. Nobody does that. I mean, he's a jam up dude, and his goal is to grow his metal detecting shop and be #1 in the United States for customer service and selling metal detectors. And it's a great goal, and I think he's on a good track to do it, because he's got awesome customer service. The return policy is what's kicked butt. You ain't got to pay shipping either way if you have a problem or you're unsatisfied. But with that being said, you guys please check him out. I know you may have your favorite dealers. If you do, I understand that. But if you're just out there and you don't have a specific dealer, please check Ryan out, because it helps him make a little money so he can pay me for the advertisement, which helps me go out and do the videos that you just watched with the gas and stuff like that. It also helps me get equipment that if the manufacturers don't send to me, then I have to buy it, such as my Deus II stereo full headphones, and it helps me out too. So that's kind of kept me out of the bias thing by just saying, okay, you can advertise here for a certain fee, and he sells all metal detectors, so I don't care what you buy. I don't have to pimp one over the other because he sells them all. I mean, not that I would. You guys know that I wouldn't, but you know how it goes. Ryan is with, hold on a minute, and I'll pull it up right here. Let me see if I can find the little, yeah, let me pull it up. I'll show you who he's with. Uh-oh, did it come? That is who we're talking about right here. Let me just put his little icon right here since we're talking about it. He's with metalldetectingshop.com. Big, big, big deal he's got going on there. Massive online operation. Call him up, man. I just call him up and talk to him, and, you know, talk to him. Tell him I sent you, and I said he's the best, and tell him to look out for you, and he'll look out for you the best he can. And like I said, if you have a problem, he ships a detector to you. And I'll tell you something else about him on pre-orders. He don't take your money. You get on his pre-order list, he doesn't take your money until your detector ships. Ah, really? How many detector salesmen take your money, and then you're sitting there months waiting on your machine? Ryan don't do that either. And he pays shipping both ways. You say, oh, I don't like this detector, Ryan. He'll send you a return label, right back to him it goes. Your money gets returned right back to you. He's really a top-notch dude. And I mean, he really is. He's been good to me. If I need something, I can get it, you know. Yeah. Well, hey guys, I'm gonna get off of here. We've talked about everything that I think that we can talk about. If you guys get some experience with that Morph audio or that dual reactivity, let me know. I've got so much going on. I've got some stuff I've got to help my brother-in-law build a deck around his pool. I've got some other projects that I've got to get done, and my time will get limited. I want to do some diving, but the metal detector testing is easy on me because I'm traveling to dive, and I can't really be away from the house right now. And the metal detector testing, I've been kind of being close to home. I did go to Morehead City and test for a few days, but it allows me, because I'm just a few miles from the beach. So the beach testing is really, really fun, and it's interesting because I don't think there's a whole lot of videos out there per se with stuff like that on it now. And we may even go further with it, but that is where we're at. Pulse induction on the beaches in 2026 is dead, and you heard it here first from Calabash Digger. So before you go buy a $2,000 PI machine to hunt on the beach, you need to know what you're getting into. I'm going to sign out, and I'm over and out, guys, if I can remember how to finish this thing up. But I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation, and I'll catch you guys soon, I hope. And I appreciate it, guys. I hope the information helps, and I hope I didn't just ramble on. I kept looking over there at that camera the whole time, but when it went out, and I don't know why that happened. Hey, yeah, you guys have a great night, and I'll catch you guys later. We'll see you guys later.